So I tried to get rid of him as quick as humanly possible so we could get you on. Um,
Well, sorry about that.
no, no problem, no problem. Dr. Steve Webb is with us today. He's a certified social media intelligence expert, by the way. I hope that all fits on a business card. He is the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Education in a Violent World. He joins us today here on our big broadcast. So, Dr. Steve, first of all, let's start with your book. Tell us about your book, my friend.
Well, my book is several years of researching different towns and communities and schools that have had tragic events occur. I visited Columbine High School. I visited, of course, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, Santana, all of these places. And I interview people, and I start looking at things that are commonplace. And I wanted to put together a book for people that are in that guardian range of working with our kids, because we are in that time where we did not grow up in this technology time.
Yes.
And so a lot of my questions to that community is this dynamic that we're seeing with our children today, we don't understand because we didn't grow up in that. And so what we're doing here is we're seeing that complacency, that I can't believe it happened here, when it's happening all over the place, because kids are these days are living in a different world. And that's why I call it education in a different world. We need to understand the world they're living in so we can learn how to communicate with them. We think they're bad communicators. We're really the bad communicators.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dr. Steve Webb with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So why did you decide to write this book?
Well, because I'm now that old fogey that I used to make fun of, that didn't really understand my music and didn't understand my friends, and always lived in a different world, a different aspect of the world. I'm now that guy. I used to have my own old fogies that I made fun of. I'm that guy. So I wanted to go out and I wanted to show that I could learn about this world. I could go in and try to protect these kids in their world, not try to make them fit in my world.
Yeah.
And that's why I wrote the book, because if I can do it, everybody should be able to do it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So what do you want readers to take away from your writing of this great book?
I want the readers to go into this book and say, oh my gosh, I need to go start searching for these apps that are on my kids' phones and understand the trauma that they're getting. Listen, we believe that when our kids are quiet and in their rooms and on their device, that they're really behaved, and we're really glad that they're safe in our homes. They're really not that safe. They're in a realm, and if they're in certain areas, particularly some of the social media that's out there, they're experiencing trauma 24/7. When you and I used to be able to go home and get away from the bully, they can't.
So this book is getting a lot of rave reviews. Tell us about some of the different reviews you've gotten on the book so far.
Well, a lot of them are saying, hey, thanks for pointing out that hey, we got these kids that are coming in and they're not as stimulated because we're trying to fit them into a school that was designed in the 1900s. And then we have government telling us, well, we need to test them so we can tell some of these kids that they're abnormal. And then when they're abnormal, what do? When they have behavior issues, we start diagnosing them with ADHD. 1 in 5 boys are being diagnosed with ADHD. 1 in 11 girls. So this is an epidemic in itself, besides the pandemic that we're in. We've got kids being drugged with major narcotics to try to affect a behavior that we are causing in our schools and in our communities. We need to wake up and understand that we are the problem.
Dr. Steve Webb with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast. So you say that our kids are living in an online world which is much different than the real world. Kind of explain this world and why parents need to know what's going on in it.
Well, people think that, when they're on Snapchat, hey, it's just friendly fun. They're being able to snap with their kids. We get snaps of them every once in a while just so they show us that they're okay. And then all of a sudden they download this, what's called YOLO, which is an add-in to Snapchat. YOLO is an anonymous device, an anonymous app that allows people to bully and talk about your child terribly, and nobody knows who they are, so your child's always trying to search who that person is. That also allows the pedophiles to get into your kids and understand that they're able to talk to your kids and tell them how much they love them and how beautiful they are, and groom them to the point to where they can get them to meet them somewhere. Parents need to be aware of this, that even when your kids say everything's fine, we're just having fun, I understand, I'm not going to get caught up in that, they are.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. Dr. Steve Webb is with us. He's a certified social media intelligence expert. He's also the author of a great best-selling book on Amazon, Education in a Violent World, and he's also an award-winning educator, and he joins us today here on Skype. So being online all day, every day, what effect does this have on kids?
Well, with the trauma that they're seeing and what they're doing, and I didn't even mention some of the worst things possible for your kids to be involved in. If you go right now to your phone, go to your kids' phones right now, and you see this app called Tor, T-O-R, and it looks like an onion, take it off. That is the deep web, also called the dark web. And the things that they can get into in that will certainly stimulate them. And that's what kids are doing as early as 12-year-old, 11 and 12-year-old. They're looking for things to stimulate. In that particular arena, you can buy drugs, you can buy prostitution, you can even buy a hitman. And these kids are able to download this app, go around on this app and find things that are .onion type areas. And the parents don't have any idea because it's just a simple little app on their phone. Their kids are being good, their kids are being in their rooms. That's besides all the cyberbullying and all the cyber stalking. If you see your kids that are changing their behaviors, if they're changing their friends, they're starting to talk bad about who used to be their best friends, you can guarantee they're getting cyberbullied and they're getting some cyber trauma right now.
It is Dr. Steve Webb. He's with us today here on our broadcast. He is fantastic, and I'm glad that we have got him today with us, chatting a little bit about his latest book. And social media, cyberbullies, and the dark web are traumatizing children. And we have got an expert with us today. Dr. Steve Webb is with us. So how can you tell if your kids are being cyberbullied? Talk to us a little bit about this, my friend.
Well, like I said, whenever they had a group of friends, kids are still, even though they're home in this pandemic and sheltered, they're still trying to get into their cliques. And they're doing that through these social media areas. When you start seeing these social media areas with their friends changing, and it's going to take you communicating with your child. Don't just take that everything's fine. You got to go find out who they're talking to, when they're talking to them, find out what's going on, or you'll never know. Because when they start changing their groups of friends, you can guarantee there's some things going on online that is traumatic for your child. If not, it may be traumatic for another child. They may actually be the bully. And how you can tell that is whenever they are their self-esteem is super connected to that screen and to that phone. You can guarantee that they're seeing things and doing things on that device, especially if they're trying to hide it from you. Now, there are things on there. If you go onto their phone and you see like 4 different calculators, you can guarantee they're not using 4 calculators. Those are cloaking devices. They're cloaking devices, and they're able to use a password through those fake calculators to hide pictures. A lot of times it's sexting pictures, where they're taking pictures of their body, sending it to somebody, and that is some of the things that are killing kids the most. That's why suicide is now up to second for our young people. Second cause of death for our young people, because they can't get away from this bullying.
We've got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast, Dr. Steve Webb. And Steve, how do we find you online?
Well, you can go to drstevewebb.com and please get in contact with me. I'll come speak to your organization, to parents. I'll go anywhere and talk to anybody if it saves a life. You've got also download my 3-step guide to being safe in public. We're all tired of this pandemic. We're all tired of being holed up, and we're looking for places to go where we can be around people. And we're going to do that more and more and more. Understand there's bad people out there everywhere you go, and these people did not seek mental health care during this pandemic. So they may even be worse. Download my 3-step guide so when you step out of your car, you understand the environment around you and you get your nose out of that phone.
Fantastic. It's Dr. Steve Webb with us today. Check out drstevewebb.com for more information. And Steve, I will have to say that you are just an amazing amount of information here on some of the different things. So tell us a little bit more about this book and why people should go pick it up.
Well, in this book, I not only took all of the research of all of these events and compiled all of this information, but I also gave the pathway of solving this. And that's the knowledge. That's getting off your phone and looking at TikTok and going in there and researching some of the things that these kids are being involved with and talk to them about it. We are the communication issue because we think they're being good. I mean, I'm not that old. I remember putting a video in front of my kids and to make them be quiet, and I thought everything was great. That's exactly what we think as parents. And now I've got 4 children, 4 pretty grown children. I've got 1 kid that's left in high school, and it's really tough to keep up, and it's time consuming, and we're all working and busy. But in this book, I want you to understand the para mindset is something that we got to get back into. It's something that cops, I have that as my situational awareness that I learned in the police academy, and so do armed forces, because we've always got a target on our back. So everywhere we go, we look at the environment before we step foot in that environment. People are not doing that anymore because they're so focused on that phone. The para mindset will save our kids in our school, and it will prevent these violent incidences from occurring, because we're looking at prevention, not all this response stuff that people want you to get involved in and buy.
Fantastic. It is a great guest with us today. Dr. Steve Webb is with us today. And, I just thought of something, which is awesome. Your name is your destiny. Meet social media intelligence guy Steve Webb. I think that is fantastic. So Steve, I guess before we let you go, my friend, where can we get the book? Get in touch with you, all that.
Yeah, you can get the book at any major bookstore, online. Amazon certainly has been really good in terms of the selling of the book. You can go to educationinaviolentworldbook.com, and it'll send you to the information you need. And certainly get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me at SWEBB, that's SWEB, at safeschoolsystems.org. Anytime, any place, you need help to save a kid, you call me. You get a hold of me.
Fantastic. Well, you are fantastic, my friend, and I definitely want to talk to you more. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will be in touch, Steve. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me and helping me spread the word.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. There he goes, Dr. Steve Webb. And we are going to go to our break. And when we come back, we have got more on the other side. Coming back.